Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a pyramid in Minecraft. Let's get started. So first let's take a step back and look at our pyramids from afar so you can get a good view on everything. Of course you can see it is not the largest pyramid that I've made, but it is a substantial sized pyramid. Of course we do have a one entranceway here. And the exterior is decorated with a couple of statues here. These are not included in this tutorial. They have their own Egyptian statue tutorial. But if you want something different, this model over here, it's decorated with a pair of obelisks. They have their own tutorial as well already. Of course, this particular example is for the person that has entirely too many diamonds and wants to show them off with their pyramid. Over here, the reference model I'll be showing today is made of a comparatively cheaper gold blocks up there as well. Of course, the exterior is done primarily out of diorite, but we have accents of deep slate and obsidian as well for that. Let's take a look around here to the side, get a little altitude. So we do have some slightly futuristic or alien touches to this particular pyramid design, as I like to do, because just making a standard pyramid in Minecraft, it looks very boring. So we need to add some depth to the structure here and there by pulling some things out and pushing some things in. And that lets us use the same pyramid shape, but it creates a more pleasing design, I think. Let's land, because there is a large burial chamber in here for you to use. Up here as well in the entrance passageway, if you want to, there is going to be plenty of space for you to add perhaps a 3x3 piston door or some poison traps or whatnot in here. I'll leave that up to you to catch your friends whenever they come over to visit your pyramid. So here is the interior room. It's done in an Egyptian-esque style here and there. We do have plasters attached to the wall with the fan vaulted capitals and a corbelled type ceiling, but let's have a potion so we can see this better. There we go. Of course, down here we do have your sarcophagus for you to take a nap in. And there's also lots of recessed and hidden lighting in this as well to help light up the structure, so that we don't have a ton of torches just everywhere. But they're placed in such a way so that they're not readily apparent from when you look below. So we do have a generous amount of glowstone up here for that. Of course, in keeping with more traditional Egyptian style decoration, we do have 4 little netherrack braziers in a square around your sarcophagus here. This is actually something they would do whenever they would seal their tombs. They would leave 4 little oil lamps burning inside the tomb. I don't remember exactly what the ritual reason for that was, but that's definitely what they did. I think that, well, with this pyramid, what you see is what you get. So let us take a look at the bill of materials you will need to construct for this. Now, you don't need very many types of materials, and they're all solid blocks, but, you know, pyramid, you are going to need quite a lot of them. So, you will be needing 3,728 blocks of granite, 17,660 blocks of diorite, 13,119 blocks of cobbled deep slate, 897 gold blocks to cap off the pyramidion at the top, 5,470 blocks of obsidian or blackstone. I know some people aren't going to gather this much obsidian, so you can make a substitution here and use a blackstone or any sort of black block that you want to use for that as well. And if you want, if getting this much deep slate is too much trouble, you can also substitute that with just plain cobblestone. It is going to look a little bit different as far as the colorings go. But I will leave exact material substitutions up to you. If you want to make a red version of the pyramid, you can substitute the diorite for more granite. And you could have a nice red pyramid there if you wanted to as well. Of course, 4 blocks of netherrack. 249 blocks of glowstone for all that hidden lighting I pointed out. And if you want to fill the pyramid completely solid, because I have designed this as a shell, so you'll only be placing the blocks that are visible. But if for some reason, I mean, no one is crazy to do this, but someone is going to ask. So if you want to fill your pyramid solid, you can do that with 491,947 blocks of cobble, or just whatever block you have lying around. It's like 500,000 blocks. So I don't think anyone is going to do that. But I like to have all my pyramids solid. So when we take a look at the reference models over here, you'll see that we just have layer after layer of cobblestone. But you're not going to need that much cobblestone, because if you take a look here, you can see that that is just fill material. And the shell, or rather the casing stones of the pyramid, are going to be of different materials. We have diorite here for the edges, and then cobbled deep slate around there for that. So if you are going to build this in survival, as I know some of you will, don't worry. You can just build the shell of this pyramid and maybe just put 1 layer of cobblestone backing material behind that, because I imagine you will have at least one creeper explode on your pyramid at some point. And you don't want to make a really big hole, so you might want to have a little cobble behind that as well. So the dimensions for the pyramid are as follows. The base is 145 by 145, and the height is going to be 90 blocks tall, all the way from this block down here all the way to the tip of the pyramidion up there is going to be 90 blocks. So the very first thing you want to do is mark out a 145 by 145 square using your deep slate here, or whatever block you might be substituting for the deep slate. And you want to make a really big square, and then level everything inside of that square so you can have a nice level base. And after this, we need to locate our center line. So if we go from our edge, our corner over here, and count 73 blocks, you will get to this point right here, which is going to be your center line. So if you start counting that way and count for 72 blocks, you will get to the other corner. So when you're doing these measurements, you want to make sure you count these out probably like 3 times, so you get them all accurate. Otherwise, your pyramid will not meet at the top there, and that'd be really bad. So we don't want to have that happen. There is a small area here at the front for the ascending staircase to get into the pyramid. And the base of this is 9 by 8. So it's going to be 9 blocks wide and 8 blocks back this way, marked out by the red wool here. And then in front of that, you want to put in a first step here, just 5 blocks of diorite right there. And that is going to be your first step. So from this point, now that we have established the center line and where the ascending passageway staircase is going to be, we want to come over here, and then we want to count 2 blocks right there. And for this, I'm going to count out the outline of this of the cobble, because in the next phase we are going to be putting the first course of the pyramid on that. So all we're doing right now is the base. Yeah, and as I've said, if this obsidian, if you don't want to collect that, feel free to substitute that with black stone or just whatever block you feel would look good there. So I'm going to use the half slabs here and count out the blocks so we can trace it all around. Let's start here at that block there on the center line. We'll count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we will turn and go for 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Then 2 this way. 1, 1. Another one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what? 1, 2, 3. 14 for that, and then a diagonal run of 5 there, and then 1, 2, and then a long run of 1, 2, 3, 8. And then 2, 2 again, 2 a third time, and then from here we want to run all the way to the corner, which is going to be 21 blocks to get to this corner here. So let me pause. We need to go real slow on this. If you want to double check my counting, I'm using the stone slabs here. They have a nice texture for that. So you want to make sure you have this pattern here laid down like that there. And I will show you the entire thing from the top at a glance, like that there. Now, the good news for this is that that is a symmetrical repeating pattern. In other words, I've shown you 1/8 of that, but because of the nature of the pyramid, you need to build this 7 more times. And you need to do that counting here and going this way like that for however many blocks that was. I should count that. That was what? Is too foundational to skip over, so we'll count 1, 2, 3. $21, then 2, 2, and 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal, then 1, 2, 3. 14, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, a diagonal of 2, and then 2, and then over here for this one's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 there. And somewhere over here you should have another center line. Because if you, our red center line that we drew over here, if you extend that all the way through the pyramid, it will poke out the other side. But somewhere in the middle of this, if you come over here, you can see that it's symmetrical again. So if you do that same measurement that we made over there for the 73 and do it over here, it should give you the center line right there. And they will meet at a cross somewhere in the middle around here. So you can use that as a survey line as we go to help keep everything on track. All right, so that is going to be the base. Well, almost. I talked about the obsidian here. This is all 3 blocks wide, and then 3 blocks of the cobbled deep slate, and then just what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get all the way back to whatever will cover this portion of the outside of the base of the pyramid, as you see down here, like that. So you want to go around and make all your counts. Just do that with cobblestone. You don't have to use the stone slabs. I'm just doing these so you can see the block counts easier. And directly on top of that, we are going to place the first course of our pyramid. So let's start over here, find our center line at our entrance. It's going to be right there. And what you're doing here is you are placing a cobbled deep slate and a diorite, just like the first stair that we did here. You're placing another stair. Diorite behind that, 5 blocks, and over here we've got 4 blocks of cobbled deep slate. And then this just extends all the way to the back of your pyramid here. Of course, behind this we have the cobblestone filling. You can begin leaving this all this hollow if you don't want to fill in the 500,000 cobblestone. On the side here, we are changing to diorite. We want to build 3 blocks and then 1 and another one. Then you want to build 4 blocks of cobbled deep slate, another block, and then 5 of that. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 14 for that, then 1, 1, 1, and 1 for that there, then 2, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 8. Then back to the diorite for 2 blocks, 2 again, and a third 2. And then from here, just run it straight to the corner and set it back 1 block here. And now that you have done that, you want to take that pattern again. I think that's exactly what we counted out over there with the slabs in the first time. So you just want to stack that pattern on top of that. You want to do this measurement here, not counting the stairway. Where can we pick that up again? So once you get to this point over here again, where we're turning, after you've done the 14 block count, you want to do 5, then 1, 2, 3, and then back to diorite for 2, 1, and then what? 1, 2, 3. 13 blocks there, and of course your center line should be somewhere over there for that. All right, so as you can see, let's get some altitude. You need to do that. Once you have made a quarter of this, you need to do the other 3 quadrants of the pyramid, exactly the same numbers. All right. So once you have done that, that is your first course of your pyramid laid down. I believe our pyramid, it has 90 courses. After these first 3, we are going to start skipping a little bit to every other course. We'll be doing 2 blocks at a time instead of 1. But as you can see, the exterior of the pyramid, it's very simple. We just have repeating patterns. So once I explain this to you a few times, you should be well ahead of me in doing the building of it. So let's locate our center line here again. So another step, just like what we're doing, as you can see. The first step you did, and then the second, and now we're doing the third. You can see to the side of that we have some guardrails, kind of cobbled deep slate right there, and this is going to be a repeating pattern. So in other words, these stairs here, this is a module. You're moving it up, and you're building another one here, and behind this you're going to be building another one right there as well. So that's how the stairs work. There's just cobbled deep slate on the side there. But you can see we are already stepping back our pyramid. We're now on the second course of blocks. We will place 1 block of diorite here, and then 2, 1, and 1. And then switch over to your cobbled deep slate. Place 4, and 1, and 5. And then this is going to be what, another 14? 1, 3... no, 13. That is 13 blocks there. We have this block here. And we want to have a, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal for the cobbled deep slate, and then 2, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch to the diorite, 2, 2, 2. And then from here all the way to your corner, 1, 2, 3, 21 blocks to get to the corner over here. And I think these are all going to be 21 blocks. I mean, you can see that they're regular. So once you have made that block count there, let me show you this to you again from the top down. Try and get it all in the frame here. Like so. So for your second course, you want to step it back where I showed you, but do the block counts just the same for the other 7 sections all the way around the pyramid. Let me go over here and show you again the flat face. So the only difference for this one over here is that we don't have an entrance. We only have one entrance over there, and we have flat faces on this side over here. So you can see that there. We only have this little entrance there, and after we get above the entrance in the passageway, everything becomes completely symmetrical on the outside. It's just going to be a lot of blocks and a lot of repeating patterns, but take your time, do the counts. You might want to, for these first courses, double count them, or maybe even triple count them to make sure you get them all correct. And we will move on to the next phase. So over here for the stairs, you can see they are doing the module thing that I talked about for those. So I think you can see that here. As we go, just feel free to pause and replicate the block patterns that you see on your screen, because it's far too many blocks for me to count them all out. I'm doing that in the beginning so we get everything correct. But as we go along here, you should just be able to look at these and repeat what you see on your screen. So you can see what we are doing here. I will count these out one last time. So here's our center line, going through that way. And our stairs over here, you can see we're just stepping diorite blocks back here for 2, 1, and 1. And then 4, 1, and that's going to be a 5, isn't it? No, it's a 6. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 11. And then a diagonal of 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to the diorite, 2, 2, and 2. And then from here all the way, I think it's what, 21 blocks, to the corner there. And that is what you want to be doing. So you can see that the design, especially of the corners of the pyramid, this is all going to be the same. It is just going to be ascending up block by block, and it's going to be stepped back. But at some levels, it's going to be stepped up twice before it's stepped back. And we are doing that because this pyramid rises at the same angle. It's not 45 degrees. It rises at the same angle that the Great Pyramid does. So that is why that we have in some sections you saw we have a double course stacked up there, because our pyramid needs to have a steeper angle than what it would have if you just placed blocks being stepped back one block at a time. You would just get a 45-degree angle doing that. So let me go back over this and show you the top down here with the slabs. And we will move on to the next phase. So as you can see, the interior core of the pyramid is just a vast amount of cobblestone. I presume you are leaving all of this empty. And that's not going to matter until we get to a couple more phases when we get to the passageway and the floor of your burial chamber, which is, of course, up inside your pyramid and not down below it. Now, of course, we could, if you wanted to, you can put another burial chamber down below that one there. Maybe if you just rebuild the room again. But that's not included in this tutorial, so I will leave that up to you. Let us go over here again. So let's locate our center line. Like so. There you can see that the stairs are doing their module thing. Going back 2 blocks and up 1 block. Over here on the side, you can see we have gotten to that layer I talked about, where we're going up for 2 blocks instead of 1. And I think every 4 or 5 times that we go up 1 block, we're going to be going up 2 blocks. And after we get a number of courses of this complete, you will see that is going to be a repeating pattern that will continue all the way to the top of the pyramid. So, where is going to be the best place to show you this? I think the shadows are good over here. So, you can see the block patterns we have here for the diorite. Now, bear in mind, we are going up from the last phase. I think in the last phase, we went up first to 2 blocks, and then we are now going up from the last phase, now in 2-block slices. So for the rest of the tutorial, what I will be showing you is the pyramid going up in 2-block increments. So every subsequent slice here is going to be 2 blocks taller than the previous slice. So now here we are back over here at our entranceway. And you want to place the patterns here that you see with the diorite and the deep slate. I know the cobblestone that's very close in terms of color there. It's still a little bit different. I perhaps should have made that a different color. But as I've said, we're just building a shell out of this. So the front-facing blocks are the only ones you need to concern yourself with. Now over here you can see we are going up 2 blocks there. I will count this one out here in a moment, but I want to show it to you first. We need to get just a couple of courses of this established. So you can see at the corner here, we are going up for 2 courses. So let's go back over here and do another count. 1, 2, and 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 5. And then 1, 2, 3. 10 for that. You can see that this is cutting in here. Like so. And then diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2, 2, and 1, 2, 3. 8, 2, 2, and 2. And then from here all the way to the corner of your pyramid, double stacked, like you see done there with the diorite. Of course, you can see the diorite is double stacked, and the deep slate is double stacked as well, except for right here at this section here at the front. All right, and that is because we already double stacked this at this level back down here. So that doesn't happen at this level up here. So let me go back and show you this here from the top down. And we will go on to the next phase. So still building the ramp and the lowest courses of our pyramid according to the pattern that you see here. And as we go, remember I'm showing you 1/8 of the pyramid, but you need to do what I show you 7 more times. So we have the diorite over here. You can see now more clearly the stepped pattern that we have going on with that. Over here we have just the deep slate, then a flat wall, and over here we have now a little bit of obsidian that we are introducing into our pyramid to have a third color. I think we do have 4 colors for this pyramid, just like we did down there below. If you have substituted something else like black stone or maybe some polished deep slate tiles or something for the obsidian, that's completely fine to do. Just choose a very dark block for this here, and I will count this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, that one down there is going to be 8. So you want to do that according to this pattern here. Like so. Let me go back and show you from the top down. Be a better way to see the contrast in the blocks, I think. Like we have done there. And of course, the diorite is going exactly as it has done for all the previous courses. We've only stepped it up once so far. And you want to bend that around this corner here. Go to the flat face over here. And that'll give you a quadrant. And then do that whole thing 3 more times. So I think you can get a handle on this by now that it's a large build, but it's just very repetitive. It's not very difficult in terms of pattern. You just have to get the block placement correct. So here we have our passageway that we are now building here at this level. So you can use the number of steps that we have here to double check to get up to this height here. Let's first go and we will look at the exterior first, and then we will go and spend some time on the inside. So here we have our diorite, then our deep slate, and then our obsidian. You can see it's getting shorter by 1 block every time it goes back and up. The deep slate here, and the standard diorite corners over here. All right, so let me show you, let's start with an overview from the top down of this. We have our passageway that leads into our pyramid. And let's get a good top-down view of our burial chamber here. You can see we have an empty sarcophagus. Right there in the middle, be a good place for you to put your bed, possibly. That'd be a little morbid. Let's go back to the passageway, though. And from here, I should do a block count. So from our entranceway, let's take these diorite blocks here. It's going to be this frame here. This is our center line. We're counting back that many blocks to get to our frame. And then we want to count back, 1, 2, 3. Well, let's count back one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $39 blocks, I think. Should be 39. Might want to double check that. And that is going to be right here where we place the last of our obsidian there, which leads us into our burial chamber. So for this, we then want to count out from here with that obsidian. With the deep slate, 3 blocks there, place a little piece of glowstone there to help light up our floor and prevent spawns, and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, and then a block of glowstone, and then turn the corner for 1, 2, 3, 11 again, and then a block of glowstone, and then over here you can see we have this done with the deep slate, because these are the column bases for our plasters attached to the wall there. Of course, that's all done purely for decoration. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And somewhere along in here, we should have our center line. Remember that center line I said that we've been referencing all through the pyramid here? That should meet directly here in the center of your sarcophagus, like you see being done right there. And for the floor pattern of this, I just went with something simple. We have a 2-block band of obsidian, 1 block of deep slate, 2 blocks of obsidian again, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep slate, 2 blocks of obsidian, 1 deep slate, and then the rest of this all inside the central square. Just fill that in with obsidian. And of course, you just have a couple of blocks here for your sarcophagus. Like that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so, out of deep slate there, like that. And over here we have these little decorative braziers. The 4 lit braziers I referenced part of the Egyptian burial customs for that there. These are optional though. If you don't want those, you don't have to have them. And let me just show you this from the top down. So the burial chamber, like the pyramid, except for the sarcophagus, has 4-way symmetry. In other words, I've shown you a quadrant of it, and you want to build that 3 more times to get the rest of the square. As you can see from the top down here, everything is exactly the same on the other 4 sections. All right. So that took a little while to describe. Let's go on to the next phase over here. And we will begin on the exterior and then head inside. And that's going to be our pattern. So here is a detailed view of the doorway. You can see on the passageway here, we just have it decorated with obsidian and granite and deep slate, like you see done here. We just have some deep slate by the door, and then we have our diorite here. You can see we are stepping up our obsidian 2 blocks there. So we have a block there, and then we step up a block there for that at this level. And then over here you can see we're doing deep slate again, and then the diorite corners. And let's go around to this side here. So let's take a moment and take stock so we can see the slope of the pyramid. So it's rising like this here. So you can see, for generally speaking, about every 4 blocks that we go just up and back 1. We then want to do a double course of the diorite like that. But on the sides, the deep slate does this at a lower level, like this here. It does it at the same rate, but it does it at different levels than the diorite does here, as I hope that you can see. Maybe the shadows aren't very good for that there. Let's go back to the front. And I'll show you that again over here. And right here again for the diorite, just so we can be crystal clear on how the pattern is going. Like that there. So you can double check what you've done. And like this here for the deep slate. As you can see, it's got the same rise that the diorite does. It's just starting to do it lower down than the diorite does it in some places. Not on these side sections here, but on those over there it does. All right, let's now take a look inside the passageway. So this is just another repeating pattern, like you see done here. Just space that out, and then we get to the inside in here as well. Oh, and I should have remarked before we started this. If you want to knock a couple of blocks out here and put in perhaps some more obsidian or something, you can make the entrance here your nether portal for your building. So we always have to have nether portals in Minecraft, or conversely, you can put it on the interior. Back here as well, there is a pre-built diorite obsidian frame for you to do that, as you see done here. But I will leave that up to you to do. So you can see we got some hidden glowstone down there. Tricks with hiding lighting is all you do is just pick corners and knock blocks back a little, and then just put some glowstone back there, or perhaps a torch or something. That's all you really have to do to hide your lighting, because you don't see any lighting from here. But if we go over to the wall, that we can see it back there. But from most angles here, you don't see it. But it will still help light up your building without you having to place just too many torches around. Here we have the column bases for our plasters attached to the wall. So here from the door frame, count 1 there, then 2, 3, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 7, 2, 2 again, another 7, another 2, 3, 2, and then another 7. And I think our center line is coming through right there. So let me show you that from the top down. And you want to do that first out of deep slate and then out of granite, like you see being done here. And detail on our sarcophagus over here as well. There is, of course, a nice sturdy granite lid, but if we remove the lid, we can see, I broke that. We can see the completed sarcophagus with the deep slate here as well. Of course, a fun fact, in ancient times, when they wanted to rob a sarcophagus, they would just break open a corner of the lid and then yank the mummy out through the corner without having to remove the entire slab from the sarcophagus. So, of course, tomb robbers, not going to, obviously not people that are going to expend a lot of effort doing actual work. So that is what the shortcuts they would use. And you can go ahead and light your 4 braziers in there if you want to as well. Over here, let us go on to the next phase. So again, we're going up 2 more blocks. We will start at the entrance. On the outside, we have our completed entrance now and our completed passageway. We'll come back to the passageway. So you want to have that be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks that way, and across it's also 5 blocks there for that. And you can see we have details with the diorite and the deep slate on the exterior here. I think by now you ought to have a clear handle on the patterns that this is making. You should have built this enough times with enough courses of stone that you can tell where the interface points for these are going to be. Every time you go back 4, you want to go up 1. Over here, we can see our obsidian is shrinking to a point on the side. We'll almost be done with that on this lowest level, like so. No changes for the deep slate on the sides there, and of course, the diorite corners are exactly the same as they have been this whole time. We'll take a look from the side here. All right. So let's go back to the passageway and take a more detailed look at this. So here is the complete design. We just have some sort of a hidden glowstone here in the ceiling. It's not that hidden. I mean, you don't see all of it in a straight line because of these transverse beams here with the deep slate. But you do see them when, as I walk through the passageway, you can see them above there. So it gives you a sense that you're walking down your passageway. Like that there. There's a bit more on the ending space here because that is some more of our hidden lighting that we're going to get to in a moment. So let me just show you all of that from the top down. And let's continue with the inside here. So here is our completed obsidian frame. As I said, you can use this for another portal if you want to. Unless you're not using obsidian for this, which you may not. It may be blackstone or something else. On here, let's take a look at the details that are attached to the wall. Back here for that. We'll go ahead and trace a segment of this out here, and this is going to be where our center line coming through the building. So I'll give you a view of that. Of course, the granite behind this is part of the hidden lighting for the interior decorations, which is done in the sort of the corrugated palace facade, Egyptian style. And it's just a simple repeating pattern. So once you have done a section of this, you will notice once you have done a section, it's sort of a module. You just want to rotate it and build another one, then another one, and then another one, and then bend that all the way around the room until you get that there. All right. And let me just give you another closer look at this here. It's just granite with little blocks of glowstone right down there. All right, let us continue on to the next phase. I think this may be a 2-parter. I don't know why I thought I could fit this into one part. It is a pyramid after all. But we have the diorite over here. Like you see, I think it's because I took all the time to do the measurements at the start. But we have the diorite door frame here. And on top of this, we are using some deep slate. And then diorite on the corners here. Same repeating pattern we've had. Going up the pyramid here, a deep slate for that as well, and the last little bit of granite of obsidian that we have right there. I know that's called obsidian, but I looked straight at it and called it granite. Anyway, we have a deep slate over here on the sides, and then of course our corners diorite again. And we've done this for enough courses you can clearly see the stepping back and up that I talked about for the pattern. 4 blocks and then up 1, and then 4 and then up 1 over there. Done like this all along here. Of course, the Egyptians themselves, they didn't make these deep indentations into their pyramids. But I do this because I just think they look more cool this way. So it's not technically an Egyptian pyramid. It could easily be an alien pyramid. Or perhaps some other lost civilization. It's up to you to determine who exactly built it. Here is our doorway over here. Behind this, we have setbacks. The doorway is a little bit different. The setback here for that. You want to do it according to this pattern here. Not too difficult. And here is the one on the sides. You can see how we're doing the hidden lighting here. And from below here, we have a bit more of our attached columns to our walls. Of course, when columns are attached to walls, they are called pilasters. And you want to build those out like here. Let me just go around and trace some of this for clarity's sake. Like that there. And of course, all the cobblestone behind this, you don't necessarily have to build that. As I've said, there is far too much of it. And our center line should be coming through right there. So there's a view of that. And then without all of that, from the top down here for the whole burial chamber, as you can see. So once you do just a little portion of that, you want to do all the rest of it exactly the same. All right, I think we can fit in a couple of more phases on this. I'd like to get a little higher up the pyramid, but we are definitely going to have a part 2. As I for sure cannot talk long enough today to do the entire pyramid. Now here's a view of the completed entranceway for our pyramid. As you can see from the stairs that we started all the way down there, they ascend to our entranceway here. I'm just now thinking, as an option, if you want to have perhaps a hidden entrance to your pyramid, you can dispense with this and perhaps just build that section like you build this over here, and perhaps you can have a secret entrance to your pyramid somewhere that only you know about, and then your friends can have a hard time finding their way in. That might be pretty cool. But I will leave that up to you. I like to have entrances to my pyramids. That's why I've included this one. But you can see that we now have flat-faced diorite on the front here, just like we do on the sides over there. And from this point onwards, the pyramid exterior is going to be 100% symmetrical. We are done building the entrance passageway. So let's take a look over here at the patterns. For this, of course, we finished our last block of obsidian, didn't call it granite, of obsidian on the last phase, right there. And then from the top here, you can see all the side patterns with the diorite are exactly the same as we have been doing. And the pyramid is now getting quite tall. So let's take a look at our burial chamber. All right, so the good news is for this phase, most of these panels behind here, they're just being extended straight up. with the granite and the obsidian frames, like you see done here. And we have details back over here for, we're now building the main body of the attached pilasters. And we're doing those, I made all of those out of obsidian. So let's locate our center line, and I will count out a quadrant for you. Well, I will place down a quadrant so you can briefly see it for those of you that need the clarity. Like that here. And like that there. That's going to be our other center line. So all that from the top down, so you can check the shape of the building as we go. And of course you want to do that all the way around your burial chamber till you get something approximating that right there. All right, let's do another phase. So over here we can see, I told you we finished the doorway. So you can locate your center line, which should be somewhere around there. And then from here you can be building your diorite. And then all the deep slate over here, as you can see, it sort of collides and starts going straight up. And this little pocket right here. Like so. And what is happening with this is we have this repeating pattern that we've been doing with the deep slate here. It is not colliding with this one that we have been going vertical. So it's going to make a nice little triangle as we go over there. So those sections are just going to be repeating patterns that are getting smushed together. Is all that is. And a view along the side here. All right, let's take a look at our burial chamber again. The good news, the very good news for this one, the entire last phase that you did, which was this 2-block section here, do it again. For 2 more blocks there, you can see we have no changes to that. And it's going to be going straight up for the next several phases, actually. I think I could probably go ahead and cover those until it changes, so you can make more progress in between when I get part 2 out. Back over here at the front, you can see we have a double step for our diorite. Locate our center line. Right there. And the patterns over here are just getting smushed together. Like I said, right there. That's just going straight up at that little corner there. And of course, the patterns on the side here, as you can see, you can very clearly see now, we have, 4 discrete steps of the double courses that we have done for the diorite. And over here as well, it's doing that for the deep slate, just lower down. All right. So the burial chamber again. This phase you did down here, and again here. Do it all again for this section here. So you have 6 blocks of that now. Not too difficult. You're just stacking everything straight up all the way around the room. And just let's go on to the next phase. So over here at the front, I don't think I need to locate the center line. You should be doing that yourself. You're building just the repeating patterns of the diorite. We have the deep slate here. It's the only difference is right here where it's getting smushed together, as you see. And of course the corners are all the same, going up at the same predictable rate. I think we can go ahead and go inside. So good news again. You want to be stacking up your interior again, just like you have done for now, 8 blocks? 2, 2, 2, and 2 there. You can see same pattern stacked directly on top of the other one, all the way around your burial chamber. So again, over here, I think you have a handle on that, so I won't point it out. Let's just take a look at this section here real close, because it's going to be the only different section for the deep slate here, where the repeating patterns are colliding together. We can go ahead and take a look at the inside. So 2 more blocks, everything you just did, I think for now, what, a total of 10. 10 blocks like so. For that. Exterior here, same deal for this, except we are now getting to the portion where we're putting sort of the decorative features, sort of I don't really know what they're called. They kind of look like vents, or perhaps something, if it was like an alien machine or something. But I think they look really cool. They add a lot to the aesthetic of the pyramid. So that's why I add them. But at the front here, you can see we are doing a double step. We have 2 blocks of diorite, but we now have 2 blocks of deep slate. And you want to do this here. It says it is a great step, as it were, in our pyramid. And over here, I think you can see with the shadows and everything. The deep slate, the patterns just colliding together like that there. And of course, no changes along the corners there. And we will take a look on the inside. Good news again. Same pattern for what? We're going to have to 12. 12 blocks for that as well. But I think that we're getting to the point in the video where I can no longer talk. So we are going to have to stop here and pick up where we will be leaving off here in part 2. But in the meantime, the entire world is available for download in the video description. So if anything I said was unclear and you need to come here and take a look at the reference model for yourself, or if you just want to copy and paste it or make a schematic or something, you can do that with the world download provided in the video description. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.